Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Talk with the Titans, live from London, UK, all the way to the US of A and worldwide. I'm your host, Kalam L, and this is Talk with the Titans. Tonight's show, we've got the ISUPK of UK in the building today. Shalom, shalom, Ak.
Shalom.
Shalom. So, you know what? We've got the ISUPK of UK in the building. You know what? Brothers, please introduce yourselves to our audience.
All right. First off, this is Officer Parasha. If you introduce yourself,
Officer Karathia.
all right.
Officer Damgaba. Trooper Banyamya.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. You know what? We've got a show in store for our audience. We're going to be covering quite a lot of topics today. Topics such diverse topics as is the white man the author of the Bible? You know what? The Hispanics, the Native Americans, are they Hebrew Israelites? We're also going to be going into the Council of Nicaea, what took place there, as well as the Passover, and of course, the brothers actually have a lecture coming up. I believe it's on the 9th of April, starting at 2 p.m. up in Birmingham. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, excellent, excellent. So I know you've got, could you give us a quick overview of the things that you're going to be covering today with us?
Yeah, we're going to be covering the Passover and also the lecture going into who wrote the Bible. The Bible's not a white man's book, and proving that Hispanics, they are also Israelites. So we're going to be just going into that, which also we will be going into more in the depth at the lecture as well.
Okay, great, great. We've got a real heated, exciting show in store for our audience today. It's not too often we actually have or see, the Hebrew Israelites in the UK representing on Titans TV, Talk with the Titans. So this is going to be truly exceptional. So what I'm going to ask you lot to do is please hit the share button, share it via your socials, your Facebooks, your Twitters, your YouTubes, your Instagram, your Google, everywhere possible. Please share this. Let everybody know. If you're on other platforms as well and it's going on right now, please let everybody know we've got the ISUPK of the UK in the building with us. We're also going to be getting some of the American Hebrew Israelites ISUPK members in with us to actually give us a talk. So I know a lot of you lot may have a lot of questions for these brothers, and especially for ISUPK and the Hebrew Israelites in general. I'm definitely going to be opening up the lines for my UK audience and the Hangouts to the American audience to actually call in, have your say, ask them questions, and really probe. But right about now, we're going to do what we've started to do, and that is the Titans quick fire round, because we need to get to know our ISUPK Hebrew faction over here. So, brothers, I would like to know, how did you actually come in contact with the teachings of Hebrew Israelites or ISUPK in general?
Well, the first time I first came into contact with it was I was just browsing around, and I seen one tape where he was basically going into that "We Are the Real Jews," and just watching that, I was like amazed, like, can this be right? And then I was just shocked. So then from there, I watched one tape, then one tape led to another tape, and then from then just been watching ever since. And then I come into contact with another so-called Israelite camp. You know what I mean? And I learned a few things there, but then I came into contact with the ISUPK, and everything they said was just right and it was correct, and then just basically from there just been locked in them ever since.
Okay, me myself, I was just like any other young black youth, thinking we were African. I was searching for the truth. Then someone told me that the real Jews were black, so I found myself a part of a next Israelite organization. Then I started to go online and came across the ISUPK, started to listen to Commanding General Yohanna's radio show. I started to find out that where I was wasn't the truth. So I started to lock in locking more to the ISUPK, and before you know it, I was fully locked in, became a trooper, worked way up the rank, I'm an officer.
Well, how I first came in is first a brother told me the Jews are black, and I was like, "You sure the Jews are black?" Because I'm like, every time I see Jews, those so-called white, and one day I watched a UPK video, and I was like, "Damn, these brothers is breaking down the scriptures and everything they was saying when they was talking about the Bible's a black man's book. Everything they was bringing out of the book is how I was living my. Everything is about my life that they was bringing out slave ships in the Bible. Like these times, I didn't even know slave ships was in the Bible. Then they was bringing out the Jews is black out of the Bible. These times I didn't know these things. So I thought, damn, these brothers is reading out of the Bible, and I've never heard these things in my life before. So I started to watch more videos, and then I started to watch more and more videos, and I realized, damn, these brothers is the real deal. These brothers is serving the Most High according to scriptures. And then ever since therefore, this is where I need to be, and I made sure. I told myself one day I'm getting in there, and I made sure I got into the ISUPK.
That's right.
Yeah, for myself, yeah, I was just researching online generally, and I come across some videos, same way the other brothers said, one take to another. It's shocking, you know, how you see videos with white men getting on their knees and kissing the brothers' boots on them kind of things, you know. So if you're for your people, then why wouldn't you want to be a part of that?
All right. Can. Wow. Okay. I see. So you know what, yeah, you two, well, all of you lot kind of look very close with each other. You lot all seem to come from the same area. I'm just curious, what actual area are you all from?
Well, I mean, all of us are from the Birmingham part of town. Some are from Handsworth, Aston, and those surrounding parts.
Cool. So you know what? So wait, hold on. I want to know, were you all friends prior to joining ISUPK, or did ISUPK bring you guys together?
Well, with the three of us, us three, the one brother on my right and on my left, we always knew of one another because we've lived around the same part of town.
Okay, cool. So I want to know, in terms of like actually going out and preaching, because you know what, the dynamics, the climate of the UK versus the US is, you know, is completely different. You know, our climate is completely different from the US climate in terms of how you know, racism is over here, how just the whole political climate over here is kind of different than the US. So I want to know, how is the teachings actually received over here in the UK?
Well, sometimes it can be received really well. Like amongst black people, it's received good. But then when you talk about so-called whites and everything, then it's not received really well. For example, when we went out for the very first time, you know what I mean, we was basically surrounded at every side. You know, some people wanted, and eventually, like, tons of vans came, and you know, like, they wanted to arrest us, but they can't because, you know, this is a Christian country, and we was reading out of the Bible. So depends on how it gets received. It depends on who it's addressed to. So if it's one of us, they receive it well. I mean, of course, some of our people, they're following other religions, so they would reject it. But regardless of white man, Indian, or whatever, then it ain't received really well. And, you know, sometimes they do get very upset. Which, I mean, we also have some videos online which, you know, do show some of those times as well.
Mm-hmm. So in terms, okay, let me put it like this now. You know, when you come and you bring, you know, the truth of the Hebrews, the Israelites, Yeshua, you know, being a black man, the Hebrews, the original Hebrews being black, and you know, the whites, you know, were the ones who are oppressing and you know, being the negative forces, etc. How are the black people, you know, receiving that information. And I know a lot of the black people up in Birmingham is quite interracial. There's a lot of mixed race couples going on. There's a lot of black and white mixing freely up there. So, when you come with this particular truth, how is it actually received where you are amongst the blacks and the whites in general, actually?
Well, it's pretty mixed, to be honest. You get some black people that listen and are intrigued, because it's the first time they're hearing this. And then you get some black people that just pretty much are not interested. They're too busy shopping and, in their mind got better things happening. So, to be honest, it's pretty mixed. Some people are intrigued by it, never heard it before, want to apply it, take classes. And you got some people that just want to pass by, they don't pretty much pay no mind. That's the reception we get from down here.
Mm-hmm. And what's like the most craziest thing that's actually happened to you guys whilst you're out propagating?
While we was out, tons of riot bands came, so we were just like doing what we was doing, and then loads of bands came, and it got so bad that even the head of the police force, he had to actually come over and find out what was going on. And then this was our first camp, and we were just surrounded by police officers to where, they thought that it had to be a lot much more than us, because with the crowd it was 300 deep. So that kind of answered it.
Wow. So you're telling me there was like 300 people just crowded around you guys, tons of bully vans or riot vans filled with police came out. So what happened when they came to you, when they approached you guys? What was the atmosphere? What happened?
Well, they approached us really calm, and then they kind of talk with us. So we did with the police officer, he was even shocked. He says by the basically by the amount of the crowd, he would have thought it would have been more than just the three of us at that time, but he was just begging us to stop. He's like, please stop, You lot have already done enough. Please, if you could just basically wrap up, because with the crowd, they're very upset at some of the things that you have said, and it's come out of the Bible as well. So they just basically wanted us to go.
You was causing a problem. You was disrupting, the norm, the matrix, as it were. Agent Smiths had to come and try to shut you down. But it seems as though you lot have continued doing the work, and you lot are going stronger than ever. Is that correct?
Yes, there is. We speak to Captain Mashak, Commanding General Yapana, and they always say, don't be afraid and just serve the Most High. If you don't follow any laws, statutes, and commandments, then there's nothing to be afraid of. So that's why, even though that happened, I was out there next week, the week after, and we've been out there ever since.
Wow. That's powerful. So you know what? You got a presentation. You got a lecture coming up on April the 9th in Birmingham. Could you just give us the location of that for those people who are tuning over here in the UK that may be up in the Midlands that would like to actually come and support you guys?
Yeah, sure. The venue called the Golden Touch Lounge. It's in Hockley, Birmingham. The postcode is B19 2XN. It's starting at 2 o'clock. So that'll be the place where we will be holding the lecture. So it's at the door, so anyone can attend as well.
Okay, cool. And you know what? I've seen that the lecture is gonna cover certain topics as the white man. So I want to know, I want to know because a lot of our Afro or pro-black, Afrocentric, individuals, teachers, scholars over in the U.S. They all say that the Bible, or they all seem to be in agreement that the Bible is a white man's book. Okay, so I want to know: is the Bible truly the white man's book, or is it created, made for the black man, the Hebrew Israelites?
Well, first and foremost, everybody which tells you the Bible's a white man's book, they've never read the book. When you ask them what's white about the book, they can't tell you. When you ask them who read it, they can't tell you. When you ask them what makes it a white man's book, they can't tell you what makes it a white man's book. While it is, that's just an ancient myth that people have been saying, oh, it's a white man's book, it's a white man's book. But when you actually go into the book, you realize that everybody in the book is black. When you actually go into the book, it lets you know that the white man's the devil the Bible speaks of. Right. Which lets you know it's not no white man's book, because if it was a white man's book, it wouldn't tell you that the white man's the devil, and it wouldn't tell you that the prophets were called Maiga, which is a Latin word for black. And also, it's a black man's book because they mistook Moses for an Egyptian, and we know that Egyptians were black, and they mistook Moses for one of them. And Moses wrote the first 5 books in the Bible, which means a black man wrote the laws in the Bible. Also, when you look up the curses in the Bible, the curses only fit black and Hispanics. The curses don't fit the white man. The curses tell you that a people would end up on slave ships. The curses tell you that these people would be murdered and no one cares about them. These people would be in a land which ain't theirs. That these people would lose their heritage. They wouldn't know who they are. That all these other nations have took crafty counsel to cut them off. Now, that only happened to one nation of people. The white man knows who he is. The Chinese know who they are. This Bible, all the prophecies in this Bible fits black people only. It don't fit nobody else. And that right there is further proves that it's not a white man's book. So anyone who says it's a white man's book, I challenge them to come and prove to me it's a white man's book. UPK, we take all challenges. It's ISUPK, no cowards. So if anyone can prove to me it's a white man's book, I want them to dare come up and try and prove it.
Ooh, I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. You see, that slogan there is strong. ISUPK, no cowards. Hey, listen, you know what? I'm actually putting that challenge out there to anybody who's actually listening right now, who's viewing right now. Just message me with inside of the comment section, right down in the comment section, if you've got some evidence, some proof that you believe refutes and discounts what our ISUPK brothers are saying about the book. The Bible itself was created, made by black people, for black people, prophesies about black people. The curses in there are relating to black people, and nobody but black people have gone through these certain biblical prophecies that have been enumerated throughout the book. So if you believe you've got some evidence for it, I'm challenging you right now. The ISUPK no cowards are furthermore challenging you right now. So just leave us a comment down below. I'll message me via my Facebook inbox, and I'll definitely get you on the panel to actually challenge these brothers. All right. I love that. I love that. I love that. So you know what? In terms of the Bible itself, I want to know how do we identify the white man in the Bible? How do we identify the European nations inside of the Bible? And where, at what point do they come in? Where or what point was their origin?
Okay, well, in Genesis 25, it talks about Esau, a child that came out red and hairy. It also it gives attributes of this child called how he's a hunter. We know the white man today is a hunter. He's the one with his hunting rifle out there. He's got deers on the wall. It also goes into prophecy how this white man called Esau became a nation called Edom. And how they will set their nest among the stars, which we know the white man is known for doing space travel, whether it's the Russians or the Americans. There's tons of prophecies in the Bible which point to the white man, how he's the devil that the Bible speaks of, how he pushes pushes homosexuality, he pushes abortion. No other nation does that but the white man. So the prophecies in the Bible that point to him as Edom, You know what I mean? So that's how we know who the white man is. Sorry, Younger boy, want to go further on that? Kanye, and that's how we. That's where the white man comes to. The white man is our enemy in the Bible, and that's where he comes in. And his job is to try to keep us on the bottom. But us at the ISUPK, we're teaching the truth. We're waking brothers up. So when our King Christ comes back, we're gonna have a foot on the white man's neck. That's where it comes in.
Right.
Also, another thing, it lets you know that the white man Esau, the Lord hates the white man according to the Bible, because it says, Jacob I have loved and Esau I have hated. And the Lord hates the white man. It also tells you that this man would try to be like God. And who tries to be like God? Nobody else but the white man. It also tells you that this man weakens the nations. Now, who weakens every nation? The white man. He goes in people's land, pushes homosexuality, takes over all their governments and stuff. He rapes, robs, and murders the whole earth. And the Bible tells you this. So, yeah, that's all I want to send it.
Okay. All right. So, in terms of, so when you come out, I'm finding it difficult to see what happens. I'm trying to gauge an image of what takes place. So when you come out and you drop this information that's found in the scriptures, amongst this Christian nation, this European Christian nation, how do they react to this? How do they react to this information?
Well, like when we bring it out, a lot of them may think that we're dumb, or they may look at us like, well, what you have presented, surely that's not in the Bible. But that's because a lot of them don't really read that book. But a lot of them, they look really amazed. But again, as I said, it's because a lot of these European Christians, they have just been taught a doctrine, it has been handed down. So that's why when you read a verse that they haven't read, or they just don't read certain parts of the Bible, whenever you take it there, they will say things like, well, that part's done away with. Why do you care about that? So, they will always look at us like as if we are strange, but that's because of their lack of understanding on the Bible.
Okay. All right. So you know what? You've got some other things that you would like to present to us, but I want to know, okay? Because I hear a lot of people saying that, at the Council of Nicaea, like, Christianity was formed, and that's where the Bible got corrupted. So I want to know your thoughts on the Council of Nicaea.
All right. With that council, a lot of people don't really know what was actually going on. Basically, if you research one man and the people that he taught, he was teaching that with Christ, he wasn't born of a virgin birth, as people like to say. So now, with the people that own like other groups, they basically wanted to debate him at this council. So what Constantine done was that he brought that man there, and then all of the church, all of the that ran like the Church of Rome, Church of Palestine, and they basically had a debate with this man. So with that whole council, that was the main part of it at that time. Now, Christianity goes way before that council. In the book of Acts, it goes that they was called Christians first at, Antioch. So now, that was before Constantine, he was even born. So many people that say that it was Constantine who, started the Christianity belief, it will show how unlearned they are, because Christianity dates back way before him, and also way before the council as well. Also, if you research it, he was a pagan, meaning he didn't follow Christianity. He just used that for his way to get him on top, because he also had people that was against him. So him adopting Christianity was just another way for him to beat the people that was against him at that time. As well. If that answers it.
It does. It does. It really does. All right. And in terms of now, because a lot of people are asking now, like the outfits that you're wearing, the costumes that you're wearing, like how, you know, where does this come from? Where does this type of garment come from?
Well, everything we wear is strictly scriptural. You find it in the Bible. You know what I mean? Like, the Bible talks about Christ had a girdle on, a garment down to the foot. That's why you see brothers with Middle Eastern garments down to the foot, a girdle around their waist. You know what I mean? Which is like a war belt at that time. It talks about how we had warlike apparel on. That's why sometimes you see brothers with the armband. In the Bible, it talks about the diadem, which is the headpiece we wear. The priest also had a mitre, which, you know, looks similar to a turban. So everything we wear isn't made up; it's scriptural. You know what I mean? It's also, you can also find in the Bible, Zondervan Bible Pictorial Dictionary, on the clothing or garment. Also, the priest had an ephod. Some brothers wear, you know, some brothers have embroidery on their clothes, their name on their clothes. You can also find that in the Bible dictionary also. So everything we do is according to the Bible. We don't make this up on our own. You know, it's strictly scriptural and historical.
Indeed. Okay. Now I'm seeing everybody out there. I'm seeing your comments. Now, if you've got any questions for these brothers, okay, please leave your questions in the comment section down below, okay? Because I really want to get our audience members to actually interact with the ISUPK of the UK, because you know what? We don't really get to see this. We don't really get to see, you know, the Hebrew Israelites in the UK at all. So this is really a first, and I really would like our audience to really interact with these brothers right now. You know, I wanted to talk about Passover, but before I talk about Passover, I was with Captain Tazariak and Officer Katazak, you know, and we was there, we was chilling, we was in the car driving back now, and they was telling me about, you know, you Parash actually coming up to the US and spending some time with them, and it seems like they adopted some of the lingo. You know, they was like, yeah, man, I'm chilling in the bits. And I was like, what do you mean you're chilling in the bits? Well, you know about that. And I was like, okay, you're in Parasha, yeah? So tell me about your experience when you went over to the US and met, you know, commanding General Yohana himself.
It went really well. I mean, it was good to, you know, see it for myself, you know. Yeah, we watch the videos, but to actually go there yourself and to experience it, it was really good. I had a good time while I was out there as well. And, you know, being with everything they say regarding the brotherhood, it was there, and, you know, I was well taken care of as well. So, I mean, the experience over there, it was really good. I got to talk to as much people as I can while I was there for that time. And, you know, definitely I would recommend it to any or Hispanic that is in the UK as well. So, you know what I mean? Go around there and be with your brothers as well.
Okay, I'm gonna have to ask some questions now, because people really want to know about Africa and you know, the ISUPK stance on Africans. Okay, so I want to know. It seems as though the American branch of ISUPK has a very intense hatred for Africans. As UK citizens or as people over here in the UK, do you share the same sentiment as the US brothers? And if so, why?
Well, yes, we do. And the reason being is because if you read the book of Exodus, so those Africans, they had us in slavery at one point in time. So of course that hate is always going to remain because anyone that has whipped your backs, made you work, and then they was all pressing you as well. It's only a natural thing for you to hate them. So our stance is the same as our brothers that are in America as well.
Okay, so you're saying, that the Africans actually enslaved the Hebrews.
That's correct, yeah. That's right.
Okay, could you let us know when did the Africans actually enslave the Hebrews?
Well, if you read in the Bible, in the book of Exodus, that is we was in the land of Ham, as some people would say, and they basically made us work. We had to build brick without straw, and there was a afflicting us. So that's one time, and then also again in other time when we migrated to the west coast of Africa as well. It was them that rounded us up, and they sold to the Dutch, they sold us to the Portuguese, they sold us to the British and the Americas also as well.
Okay. So that's definitely two powerful incidences where it's recorded in history that the Egyptians supposedly really I don't know if it was enslaved them or whether they worked them very hard, very intensely. And then another time when in West Africa, late 16th century, 17th century, when the transatlantic slave trade was taking place. These are the two incidences that causes the ISUPK, or causes, from a Hebrew perspective, to have a hatred for these groups of individuals. I want to know though, in terms of the teachings of the hatred on the Africans, is it the African continent in general, or is it those specific tribes that actually enslaved and caused the Hebrews to do these laborious tasks?
Oh well, it's not just Africans. We don't love any nation that's not our nation. You know what I mean? Our job, as our King Yahushua said, is to raise up the 12 tribes of Israel. So our job is to fix them, get them off drugs. You know what I mean? Get them to stop having abortions, kill each other, and so forth. So it's not just Africans. Even though Africans did have us in slavery, not just the Egyptians. In the time of Samson, the Philistines had us in slavery. That's another tribe of Africans also. You know what I mean? We've been through many different slavery with different tribes of Africans. But our job is to love our people. So it's not just Africans that we don't deal with. We don't deal with any nation. Our job is to build up our house first, no one else.
Strong answer. So again, I would like to know, in terms of, because we have, let's say this, okay, during Moses' time, Moses actually married an Ethiopian woman, a Cushite, a Midianite, during that time period. And even now, to this day, we have a lot of Ethiopians that claim heritage, especially the Rastas. They claim descent, they claim heritage back to East Africa, to the Kushite regions, where they say the Israelites or the Hebrews, they claim to be Hebrews in that region as well. So I would like to know, would you align yourselves with these Cushites / Hebrews, or are you only interested in the Hebrews of the West, or will there be a time that both the Hebrews of Africa in the East and the Hebrews of the West will come together, or are they not Hebrews? I don't know. What's your take on that?
Well, with our stance on that is that they are not us. Now, the Bible does say we are scattered all over the world. So, of course, will there be remnants of us in like those parts? Yeah, but are those people us? No, they're not. Now, instead of trying to fix everyone around like those parts of the planet, first we need to fix the ones that we see every day, the ones that are on drugs, the ones that can't stop killing one another. So we don't think about those things. We try to fix these black communities that are amongst us. So instead of thinking so far ahead, you know what I mean? Let's fix what is what is around us. We know that these people are the real Jews, so we will of course be fixing them first.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Correct. But more add to that as well. Those Cushites are not real Jews because you can't be a Cushite and be an Israelite. You know what I mean? Cush was a man that had children, and Israel was a man that had children. You can't compare these two people. So the Cushites are not Israelites. You know what I mean? You got plenty of nations running around with our customs, saying that they are the real Jews, including the white man today himself. They are not the real Jews according to biblical prophecy, history, and archaeology.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Again, if you would like to have the link to the show, please let me know. Just literally message me via the Facebook. My Facebook address is Kalam SPL, or literally go to Talk with the Titans online in the group or the Facebook page, and message me there, and I'll definitely tie you in. We've got a few brothers already with us that will definitely be asking some questions and giving some commentary very soon. I can see you, my brothers. I can see you all. I still want to take some questions from the chat room. So if you've got any questions, please ask away. And if you're new to Talk with the Titans, I'm just going to give you a quick, brief intro into us. Talk with the Titans was literally birthed out of the idea that the intellectual giants, the titans of our community, should have a well-organized platform to present, discuss, and debate critical information affecting our community, proposed by you, our audience members, our community. So if you've got any questions or any topics that you want to raise, please let me know, and I'll definitely get them sorted for you. All right. Where are we? We've got brothers that have just joined us. Brother Ernest, I see that you've just joined us, and I'm aware that you have a question for the ISUPK.
Peace. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay. Sorry. My laptop just crashed. First of all, I want to say peace to you, brothers. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
All right, cool. First of all, I just want to say peace to you, brothers, and thanks for doing this. I wanted to first of all just straight up come out with what I wanted to say about how I feel the ISUPK represent their doctrine about Africans and how they, to an extent, misrepresent what the word African means. I'm Ghanaian myself personally, and I am of mixed Akan tribal origin. So when I hear what you lot say about Africans, it confuses me, because understanding the simple thread of logic about how history works and how slavery works, it makes me confused in terms of how I understand where you guys are coming from. So my main point being is, me coming from the UK and knowing what I know about the facts of history when it comes to what actually happened with slavery, are Jamaicans, for example, let's take Jamaicans for example, are they Hamites or are they Hebrews?
Well, Jamaicans would be like Hebrews, yeah.
Okay, so based on history, based on historical fact, Jamaican people trace the origin back to my own tribe. They trace themselves back to the Ashanti tribe. You've got the Maroons. Like, if we know, like, Jamaicans, there's a lot of big Jamaican community in the UK, and if we know that Maroons, for example, they still speak the Twi language, we can go to Jamaica now and still find Maroons who speak the Twi language. The flag of Jamaica is actually based on my tribal flag, the Ashanti flag. And also, places like St. Lucia, there's still people called Kwesi and Kofi and Kwame. Like, they still use the tribal day name system that we have in Ghana. Like, you have also Jamaican legends of the Takis War or Takis Rebellion, and you've also got the Maroon Wars, where the Maroons, who were Ashanti Akan slaves, fought the British. So how could they be, I mean, Hamites? Because I've seen certain Hebrew camps call Ghanaians dirty Hamites and this, that, and the third, but then the historical facts state that they trace their ancestry back to my own people. That's what I'm confused about.
All right. Regarding the language part, of course, we would be speaking the same language as them. It's like now we're speaking the English language because we was enslaved by the British. So, as regarding them speaking the same language as the Akan, that would be because they was a pressing us also as well. Speak same language as someone else. When you are a slave for them, then of course you will be speaking their language, and also you will be following their customs as well. Just like if you look around, I follow Christmas and like those other days, because obviously we're following their way of life. So even the same way in Western Africa, we was enslaved by the Ashanti, the Akan, and we was also following their ways as well. For example, if you were to get a map of Western Africa, then you will also see on the map a part called the land of which is also by Ghana. And guess what? We was being taken by the Ashanti tribe, Igbo tribe, Akan tribe. We was taken to Benin, and we was being killed a lot too. So of course, that's why people from Jamaica, they would feel like, you know what I mean, they come from the Akan tribe, because that's all they know when they date back to certain things like the languages and all that. Before that, they was Jews which migrated to the western coast of the African land, and then they was rounded up by tribes like the Ashanti, Akan, and also other surrounding Hamitic tribes also as well.
Okay, so you're saying that when they were in West Africa, they didn't know that they were Jews then?
No.
Okay.
Now, hold on. If you want me to answer that. Now, of course, many of them did know that they were Jews, but then, of course, when you're a slave for a long time, of course, it's a natural thing that people forget, and then they just think what their slave master is, they are that too. Just like now, you go to a so-called Jamaican man. Now, some claim that they're from Jamaica, that they are British, and you know what I mean. Now we know that they come from Jamaica, but you know, yet they will still want to reject that part, if you understand.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit different with colonialism, because colonialism is where you actually relate to, let's say, a big brother country or a fatherland or a motherland, where you take your customs and you take certain attributes of the country's greatness, because they've imposed and they've brought all these things to the country. What I wanted to, and I fully respect your answer, but what I wanted to really get down to is the fact that there's documented records from white slave owners who had people with names like Kwame and Kwesi in their ownership at that time. So if, again, these people were Hamites or Hebrew Israelites or whatever, they would would have had their own names. They would have had their own, I don't know, indigenous systems and customs that you guys said you brought down from Israel from 70 AD. And the fact that I know for a fact that there are people who have the same phenotypical features as me, and they're in they're across an ocean, and they have the same similar attributes as me, and they still relate to the same customs and culture that I do. Like, how can I make that separation from them? Because, like, I can see the kinship between us. I can see the fact that we relate on so many levels because of certain ancestral customs that we still have together.
Okay, for answer that, like regarding the names, when you're a slave, you take the name of person. Like today, many Jamaicans, Black, Hispanic have British names, not because they're British, but because the slave master is British. And regarding facial features don't make you who you are. You know what I mean? The Bible tells us what would fall on our people, and our people went into slavery by cargo. Our people went into slavery by ships, which is documented in the Bible. Now, facial features don't determine who you are, because the Chinese man and the Japanese man, they share similar features and similar color, and the Indian man and the Arab also, but they know that they're different because their customs are different, the way of life is different, their gods are different, and their bloodline is different, and that's what makes us different. Not because we may share the same color or similar facial features.
But coming back to...
Hold on, my brother. We'll be going in a little bit. If you're loving the information that you're hearing so far, please give us a big thumbs up, big thumbs up, big thumbs up. Let us know that you're liking the information, and please drop your comments as well in the comment section. Now, one of the the key areas as well, that has always come up is the Native Americans and the Latinos. How are they actually Hebrew Israelites? A lot of people are confused about this fact. Could you kind of elucidate these points a little bit more clearer for us?
Okay, well, at the lecture, that's what I'm going to be going into. You know what I mean? So I'm going to bring out biblical facts first and foremost of how they got over into the Americas. Then I'm going to bring out some historical facts, how the Native Indians had certain customs that God commanded in the Bible. The Bible commands that we have fringes on our clothes, and the Native Indians were known for having tassels. I'm going to go to the prophecies where it said that their buffalo shall be killed, and when the white man went to their country, he killed all the buffalo till they were extinct. Also, they also went into slavery by cargo slave ship. Christopher Columbus carried them back to Spain. You know what I mean? So we're going to go for things like that. Also, in their burial ground, there was Hebrew writings found. The oldest 10 Commandments was found in Mexico. You know what I mean? So we're going to go to that also. And their way of life and their customs is similar to what we see in the Bible. And we could also how they got there. And also biblical prophecy, where they'll be, what land they will be in, and what will be before them in the last days. So that's how we're going to prove that the Native Indians are our brothers.
And also too, if I can add on to that, you can buy many historical books of like many scholars' personal accounts, and after being around them, even they can admit that we have found them, and they was confirmed to be Israelites also as well.
Powerful, powerful. So all of this information you'll be going in depth with, or depth on, at your April the 9th lecture that'll be taking place in Birmingham. Hopefully everybody should be able to see my screen right now. Let me know if you can see my screen right now. So we've got the April the 9th lecture that shall be taking place in Birmingham, the Golden Touch Lounge, 35 Nursery Road, and this will be starting at 2 p.m. ISUPK presents The Bible is Not a White Man's Book, as well as the history of the Bible, Council of Nicaea, the Council of Constantinople, which will be actually presented by you yourself, Officer Parasha. Then we've also got The Bible is Not a White Man's Book, which is presented by Officer Dam Gabar. And we've got Hispanics and Native Indians are Israelites by Officer Karathia. Wow, 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 wow. So let us know. Are we gonna have some? Is there gonna be some chicken presented on that day for us? Like,
Yeah,
what's the event gonna be like?
yeah, rice, chicken, soup, you know what I mean? That stuff, man.
All right. So
All of that.
this definitely is an event not to be missed. If you are up in the Midlands, please, please, please support your brothers. Reach out to the brothers. If you're from London as well or from the other parts of the UK, please reach out to these brothers and kind of network with these individuals because, there are Hebrew Israelites out here. But the only problem is they're not as vocal as other groups. So I would really like to see the Hebrew Israelites, networking with each other and being as vocal as possible, so we know that you're out here. And obviously, I know you've got a thriving community up in Birmingham, which is doing great works. But unfortunately, for us in the UK or for us in London, we're not seeing it as much. So hopefully, whenever you get a chance, please come down to London. Come down to our Speakers Corner. For those of you who don't know, please check out our playlist on Facebook, on our YouTube called Speakers Corner, where we have all different types of debates going on: Hebrews, Jews, Muslims, chematologists, Sikhs, everybody, atheists, come down to get involved with the debates. So please go and check this out. If you're already subscribed, check out the playlist, have a view of the debates that takes place and the presentations that are on there as well. And hopefully we're going to get these brothers down to actually, so we can actually see them live in the flesh in action. Hopefully we can get that happening.
If I can add, look, yeah, if I can add as well, we're looking to expand all over, you know what I mean, Manchester, all over the UK, Amsterdam, you know what I mean, even all over like any other parts. So if anyone who's not a coward, you know what I mean, you can also call us as well, if you want to wake up blacks and Hispanics, don't be afraid to contact us at the same time.
That's it. And the number is actually on the flyer that I just presented. So hopefully, if you've got time after this, please rewind this video, pause the video, capture all the details as possible, get in contact with these brothers, and hopefully I would love to see the Hebrew Israelites build and come together and fall under a very strong authority to go forward and actually preach and teach the good news. We've got our brother Wali Akhtab. I know you've been waiting here. If you've got any questions to ask the brothers, please, the floor is open to you right now.
Hey, peace everybody. Thanks for having me, Kalam. Shalom to the brothers. Hotep to my other brothers out there. I wanted to, I have a couple questions. I'll just get them all out the way, and then you guys can either answer them throughout the show or however you see fit. I just wanted to kind of get it all in there to not take up too much time. But the first thing that I wanted to know is, before the Hebrews entered into Egypt, I believe they were 70 strong. Can you guys give me a detailed account of your language, your historical origins, and also the culture that you guys had before entering into Egypt? Also, I would like to know, according to the Bible, how old is the earth really? Are words like Homo erectus, Homo sapien sapien just words to confuse people? Or does the Bible actually support the claims of evolution? And my final question is math the language of the universe according to the Bible, or no?
All right. You said quite a lot of questions. If you could say them one at a time, so that we can, breaking down bit by bit. You have something to
Well, definitely. That's, the first one is, we'll just start with the first one. Before the Hebrews entered into Egypt, I believe, according to you guys' story, you were 70 strong. Can you give me a detailed account of your language, your historical origins, and your culture before entering into Egypt?
Okay, well, before we enter into Egypt, our father Jacob was a Hebrew. You know what I mean? He spoke Hebrew, which was passed down from his father Abraham, and so forth. The word Hebrew from one of our forefathers, which his name is Eva. So we spoke Hebrew, and then when we went into Egypt, in the Hamitic land, we multiplied. Before that, just our father Jacob, who spoke Hebrew, who kept the laws, statutes, and commandments, which was passed down from his father and his father, all the way back to Adam. So that's our origin.
I'm asking for a detailed account. Can you give me a specific location as to where Ur in Chaldea is, or something more specific? Can you guys give me, because the language that Moses spoke is different than the original Hebrew language. So can you guys give me a more detailed account as to where you guys came from? Where do the nomads come from? Where were they residing at? And what were they doing before they started traveling?
Okay, basically, those places that you said, they're found in the lower southeast part of Iraq. Ur and Chaldees is found in that part of Iraq. So before that, of course, people was, traveling. Certain people just tending to their corrupts and all that. But now, when you read Genesis the 12th chapter, he was told by God to get up out of that land and to go into the land of the Canaanites, where basically he would possess that land. So then he migrated into the land of Canaan, which is now the modern day Palestine. Now, from there, he throughout there had one son called Isaac. Then basically with him, Isaac, he had a son called Jacob. Now, if you look it up historically, he was just one man amongst many others. So meaning, of course, there was so now he was amongst them. They had their they had their kingdoms and everything. So he was just basically a dweller amongst them. Now, with his origins, it's not that historically you won't find everything. Just that he was one man dwelling amongst them. So of course that's why he's not written of them as much.
Okay. And my last question, I'll scrap the other one I had. I don't want to take up too much time. But my last question is, would you agree, according to the I don't want to say that. Does the Bible say in any form or fashion that math is the key to understanding the universe, or is God the only way? Or would you say, or I think that whatever the creator is, it speaks through math. Would the Bible agree with that, or do you guys agree with that?
With that question about math, we don't really deal with things like that. Or what the Bible says is that the Most High, He made everything that we see. So, as regarding the answer of that, we don't really deal with all right there.
Okay, thank you guys for your time, and I appreciate you answering my questions. Shalom, brothers.
Yeah, cool. You want to add something?
Oh yeah, and another thing with that question, maths ain't getting people of crack cocaine. Maths ain't stopping black men from hating other black men. Maths ain't stopping women from having abortion. But what is stopping people from doing all these things? What will stop you from doing all these things is keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
Maths never saved the man. Maths ain't ever saved one of them babies from being aborted. But what will stop these things happening is keeping laws, statutes, and commandments. But with us black people, we go around in circles and talk about maths and this and that when maths ain't doing nothing for black people. Maths ain't going to get the black man off drugs. Maths ain't going to get the black man out of captivity. So that's what I like to add about that.
Thank you. Wow. Okay. Okay. You know what? It's getting real interesting right about now. Um, did you have something to say?
But yeah, if I can add one thing, also with Captain Mashak, after the Passover, he's also coming to the UK as well, so he'll definitely blaze at the speaker's corner,
Right.
and also he'll blaze on any other corner in the UK also as well.
That's right.
What? So you're telling me Mashab Miami is gonna be over here?
That's right, yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy. That's crazy. So is he gonna be coming up to Birmingham? Is he gonna be staying in London?
Well, he'll be at Birmingham with us, but of course we will be all over the UK as well.
Oh, that's gonna be powerful. That's gonna be powerful. I can't wait for this. You just got me excited. You never told me this before.
Uh, hiding it.
Oh man, you just came out with a surprise. All right. I'm gonna get some few more questions answered. Brother, I know Ernest, you've got a few more questions that you would like to ask. The floor is actually open for you right now.
Cool, cool, cool. Thanks again. It's really coming back to my point, and I know we've spoken about it. You've answered the questions about customs and things like that. But what I spoke about in terms of phenotype and features of the face, not necessarily being indicative of kinship, I don't personally agree with. Another question I wanted to ask was about the 12 chart, the 12 tribe chart. Do you guys subscribe to that over here in the UK?
Yes, we do, yeah.
Cool, because that's where I have some of the confusion as well in terms of how I reason something from America coming over to here in the UK. So the 12 tribe, the 12 tribe chart is an American-based thing. How do you guys apply it to us in the UK, or apply it to Israelites in the UK?
Well, it's not just an American-based thing. It's also found in the Bible as well. So, of course, over here, we might not have as much as his subjects, but you know what I mean? If there is, then, of course, then they are also the people of God as well. So, as regarding the 12 tribe chart, it remains the exact same. So if there is remnants of them around, then you know it's also for them too.
Cool. Cool. Cool.
Also too, like I know you were talking about like the looks and like the phenotypes,
Mm.
but that doesn't mean anything. Like that famous reggae singer Bob, what's his name, Bob Marley.
Mm.
Is he also black as well?
Okay, I know the answer. I know the expected answer because I've watched some of the videos before about how he's not necessarily a black man because of the seed of the father. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You are
Right,
what
right,
your dad is. So
But in terms of when I talk about phenotype, it comes down to the point of you can tell someone from, let's say, West Africa from someone from East Africa because there's specific phenotypical traits. And the thing that always kind of boggled, like for us over in the UK, I know when someone's Ghanaian and I know when someone's Somalian, right? You can tell a clear difference between the two people, right? Is that true?
yes, that's correct. Yeah.
So when I talk about phenotype, if I look at someone in Jamaica and there are clear phenotypical similarities, that kind of makes a light bulb go in my head that, you know what, through what happened in slavery, because I don't see slavery as a linear thing. I believe that there were many like different facets that made slavery what it was. It wasn't just, for me, from what I've studied and understood, a clear-cut thing. There were many different factors involved. Like me, for example, when I looked into my own family, because watching some of the videos and understanding things that went on, like tribally, my father's tribe was conquered by my mother's tribe, the Ashanti. So there were a lot of inter-tribal wars within a specific country. So when I look at myself and I look back at my own genealogy, I look at the fact that my mum's tribe, which is Ashanti, actually conquered my father's tribe. And in that process, certain people got sold into slavery. Like, for example, there's a story within my own family that certain people got taken, and if it wasn't for the British Navy actually raiding and stopping that ship after abolition and bringing people back, like, I wouldn't be necessarily here right now. You know, so I don't ever see slavery as a linear thing. There's a lot of geopolitics involved. And when I look at how, say for example, you guys have a 12-chart track with Argentina on it, do you know the history of Argentina and what they did to black people? Because they're on the 12-tribe chart, the 12-tribe chart, and there aren't any black people in Argentina. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I mean, that goes into the brother Karakia's part, showing that they are Israelites, because many people always say that because they're not black like us. Now, when we say that they are Israelites, we're not talking about the bandits that went and like basically they reside there. We're talking about the indigenous ones. So now, of course, you got people that migrate all over the world. Just like, for example, in Jamaica, you got Hamitic Africans that reside in Jamaica. You got East Indians that reside in Jamaica. So where you migrate to, we're not talking about them. So as regarding Argentina, we're talking about the indigenous people of that land. If you know what I mean, if they trace their genealogy back and they're from one of them, then that would make them a Israelite. And you want to ask something?
Yeah, and furthermore, in regards to the whole phenotype thing, like, your facial features don't make you who you are. Because I've seen many Africans or Jamaicans, people ask, are you African? And mama say, nah, I'm actually Jamaican. So just by how you look, you don't mean who you are. As a brother said, people mistake Bob Marley for a black man, but he's not. So, and as I said before, you got the Chinese and the Japanese who hate each other, have different languages, different land, different customs, different God, who look alike and share the same features, and even share the same color, but they will tell you that they're different people because they're smart enough to know that complexion and facial features is not who you are. It's your bloodline, your landmass, your culture. That defines who you are, not your phenotype.
No, I totally understand that, but again, that's why I made the point about slavery in itself. What happened in slavery and all of the different intertribal wars. Like you guys referenced the Songhai Empire and things like that, and everything that happened over what we're talking of 400, 500 year period of history. Like, that's also gonna, I feel personally, confuse the situation with bloodlines, because what we're talking about is 4 centuries of people living and mixing together to an extent before the white man even stepped on Africa's, like, a West African beach. So my point is, even though there are differences, there's still specific commonalities that we can see in West Indies and within West Africa that clearly connect the two. And if you're saying that, like, it's a linear process of 70 AD, then they were sold straight to America and the Caribbean, then what happened in between the 400 years of everybody living and mixing together?
Well,
that's my question.
Okay, in a book called Babylon Timbuktu, it tells
Right.
about the
Okay.
life.
Good. I'm glad you referenced that book. Good.
Okay, it tells about the life that we lived in Africa, and it said that we didn't mix with them. We was, you know what I mean? We didn't really mix that much with them. We kept apart. So what happened was these these Hamite nations that knew we were separate from them, they sold us to the white man. That's why we're dwelling in places like Jamaica today and the West Indies and so forth. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, and also too, like the whole mixing thing. It don't matter if you look mixed. If your dad is a so-called Jew, then that makes you a Jew. So all that whole, well, you know, this tribe conquered that tribe. It's a very basic thing. If your dad is a so-called black or Hispanic that is over the West Indies or in America, then that will make him a Jew, and then by that he will be a Jew. So it doesn't matter of, you know, well, you know what I mean? Back then they mixed with such and such.
How do you trace that over 400 years?
Because the prophecies in the Bible are perfect. The prophecy said that we will come over here on cargo slave ships. That's how we know that we are the real Jews. And the prophecies also, they mark our people down to a T. They say our people have an abortion, our women will lose our hair. That's how we know that we are the real Jews. That's how we mark it down. And also, if you go in the Bible dictionary, it also, even the white man himself knows that the Negroes that were brought to the West Indies on cargo slave ships, that they are not Hamites or Africans. Even Zondervan himself, who's a scholar, he knew that.
And also too, there's another scholar named Dr. H. Godfrey. He also wrote a book on it also as well, and he came to find out that basically all the slaves that were taken to America and the Caribbean, that also they were Jews, and he said that the reason why they was taken because they was on a land that didn't belong to them. So that's why they were more vulnerable, and that's why they was easily taken off that land.
Cool. All right, so just one final point, because it comes back to what we said earlier, that did they know that they were Jews? Because, you know, you said that they took the customs and they took the names and everything, which is what I referenced before, right? Or did they know that they were Jews? So which one was it?
No, obviously, we carried our customs everywhere we went, but obviously, being conquered by certain African tribes, you get customs over a period of time. You start to follow their.
So which one was it? Was it the fact that you guys were conquered and took on the customs, or you kept the customs?
No, originally we had our customs, but over a period of time, the influences being conquered and so forth, just like being enslaved under the white man, we came over here. We didn't speak English at first, but then he beat into our backs, gave name, his religion, and so forth.
Right.
Definitely. Okay. So I'm going to open it up now for the last dying questions that we've got. So please, if you've got any more questions, Brother Terry or Wally, please ask the questions right now. Okay. So, brothers, you know, you've got lessons going on, I believe weekly. Could you give us some information on your lessons that you've got going on, and where can we check you guys out on?
Yeah, we do classes twice a week on a Wednesday at 7 o'clock. You can log into that online through the YouTube account, ISUPK United Kingdom. Also on a Saturday at 10 o'clock, and that is 10 a.m. So you can also log into that through the same YouTube link also as well. Also, you can call us on 079 3539 2139 as well. So you know what I mean. You can also call in if you want to hear the classes as well, and regarding any information as well.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, great. And in terms of, you know, you go out on the street corners to do your preaching and teaching, I want to know, like, you know, if you've got certain people up in the Midlands right now tuning into this, where exactly can they find you, and how often do you go out there to do it?
We go out every Saturday starting from 1 o'clock. You can find us in the Birmingham town, the road called Corporation Street. So you can find us starting at 1 o'clock. We finish at 5 o'clock. So, you know what I mean? If you come anytime in between that time, then you will always see us there.
Okay, great, great, great. All right, all right, all right. So please, guys, check this out. I'm actually going to try to get the links and put it within inside of the description box so you can find out as much information as possible about the ISUPK of UK. All right, brothers, if you got any last closing announcements, please sound them off right now. But we are literally at the end of the show.
All right, yeah, just like to announce, you know, this is the ISUPK under Commanding General Hannah. You know what I mean? We're out here for the blacks and the Hispanics. So, you know, if anyone from all over the UK wants to get into contact with us, if you're not a coward, you know, do call us. If you're into the business of fixing blacks and Hispanics, you know what I mean? We are too. And, you know, come fight with us as well as we serve the Most High.
Thank you. All right. So this has been Talk with the Titans with ISUPK of the UK signing out. We're definitely going to have some more conversation taking place behind the scenes. So if you would like to actually come into the panel, please message me on the Talk with the Titans page or literally just on my page, Kalam, KALAMSPEL, and yeah, literally inbox me there and I'll send you the link to join us in the panel section. So this has been Talk with the Titans. I've been your host, Kalam L, and we've had the ISUPK on, and I'm signing out. Peace.